a way. And I always thought that it'd be too crazy, but I found a way, I found a way. If you open up your mind, it's gonna take some time to realize.
The Doom Slayer made his mark on the world in 1993.
The voice is hard. Doom Guy has become one of the most popular requests for Smash in recent memory, and certainly one of the most vocal. And while I'm personally more hoping for the other green armor wearing soft-spoken badass that revolutionized the FPS genre, I can't really deny just how perfect Doom Guy is for Smash. Like, there's a lot of debate as to who or what deserves to be in Smash, but this is an entry that just can't be more fitting. Doom basically made the FPS genre, and while technically its brother Wolfenstein was first, I think Doom is better and it left a better impression on the world overall. And outside of basically inventing a genre, the series' association with Nintendo is only beaten by its association with PC, and that's honestly crazy to think about. Every Doom game is available on a Nintendo system, with some being exclusive for years. Even the original made its appearance on the SNES, so the partnership goes back all the way to the beginning, to now Doom Eternal making its way, eventually, to the Switch. How's this gonna be running that, exactly? How you... magic? Okay. I'm certainly not the first person to cover this topic, but I just recently tried out Doom 2016, and I've already fallen in love, and gained a tremendous amount of respect for a series that I've already admired the hell out of. Get it? So why not add another video onto the pile and let's
Rip and tear.
my own throat out. Who actually likes that voice? Who actually thinks that voice is intimidating? It always sounds dumb, and it hurts to say, and it's ugh. First of all, the majority of the actual design will come from Doom Eternal and 2016, as those are the most recent entries and honestly cover just about everything the originals did in terms of representation. So his default costume would be the Eternal design with the Classic as an alternative. Just like in Eternal. A common concern is that Doom would be too violent to be in Smash. And while I understand, I don't really agree. They've already broken a lot of rules as to what people think they can't show, and Doom is a bit more fantasy violence, you know? Demons getting their heads sliced off in more cartoonish ways is a bit different than a graphic depiction of a realistic person being harmed. Additionally, we've already started to see realistic firearms, and the fact that Corrin already has a chainsaw thing, I think we can squeak by. Also, considering the state of the world, Doom doesn't have any anime titties, so that apparently makes it family friendly for all the good boys and girls. Well, with all that being said, let's get on to the moveset. Starting, of course, with the jab. Bashing with his weapon similar to his melee attack, with a combo similar to the glory kill on basic enemies. You know, bam, pow, blop. Maybe without the limbs being ripped off, though. Forward tilt. All the tilts will be using the chainsaw, as this is one of his most prominent melee weapons. Each will have a multi-hit property, kinda similar to Corrin. And for each chainsaw tilt, he'll simply swing it upwards, downwards, or in a neutral swing. Dash attack. Dashing forward with a punch and extendable arm blade as a two-parter, similar to Link's forward smash. This is mainly to show his big brute power that he has. Forward smash, the Crucible, present in Doom Eternal. Launches a powerful swing, basically identical to Ganondorf. Something to put the fear into anyone who dares challenge it, considering the immense power of the actual move in Eternal. It'll also make people upset because it vaguely resembles a sword. People get mad about swords. Down smash, the plasma gun's heat charge. In the recent Doom games, the plasma gun has an alternate fire that expels heat after you fired it enough. In Smash, he presses it downward and expels the heat outwards. You don't actually use the plasma gun in any other moves, so it wouldn't be overheating, but yeah, shut up. Up smash, blasting the Gauss cannon directly upwards. This is one of the stronger guns in the game, so having it be a close-range smash attack would be pretty brutal. Functionally, it'd be similar to the Mii Gunner's side smash, as it's a pseudo-projectile. Neutral air, back air, and up air will all follow the same basic conventions of how aerials work in Smash. Neutral air will have him spin around with his arm blade, back air will be a fierce kick, similar to Ridley, and up air will once again use the chainsaw as a juggling tool, again with a multi-hit property. These fill the roles of pressure and spacing for neutral air, kill potential with back air, and juggling with up air, just like, most aerials in the game. Forward air, however, will use the shoulder-mounted flamethrower introduced in Eternal to blow in an arc, sort of similar to Samus. Down air, a stomp directly downward, similar to Ridley or Zero Suit, reminiscent of the death from above glory kill. Obviously, this would be a spike as it would be key in the disrespect meta, the most important one of all. Neutral lead, super shotgun blam as a powerful blast. Though if you hold it, it'll work similar to Banjo's where you can run and jump while it's out. This simulates a first-person shooter feeling and gives you a great deal of utility. Unlike Banjo though, this move packs real punch, each blast being visually similar to Metal Slug Shotgun. Though between each shot he must reload, and the more he does it, the slower it gets. This move is more or less key to his kit as his fast movements are meant to be very fearful, but if he messes up he'd be killed easily. Side B, the micro missiles. These are used by the heavy machine gun, firing in a burst and sticking onto the target before exploding. They have a much shorter time before they explode than a sticky bomb and would be much faster, though the explosion would also hurt Doomguy if they're close to him. Up B, the Super Shotgun's grapple hook. Similar to Byleth, pulling up to them and attacking. In fact, I had written this before Byleth was revealed, but it'd pretty much be exactly like that. Even the spike at high damage is a great idea. Down B will be spawning power-ups, which ties into one of our basic mechanics. A meter will be above his character's icon that will show the levels of power-ups that he'll be able to get. No tier would be a grenade, being able to throw it like, a grenade. It wouldn't be quite as fast as Snake's, so it wouldn't be able to, immediately get him out of combos or be such a prominent part of his moveset, but it would be a projectile that he would be able to use. Tier 1 would be an explosive barrel, setting this down and being able to blow it up for some added kind of stage control. Second tier would be a siphon grenade, which gives him a bit of health if he actually lands it. And the final tier would be Berserker mode, power-up that would cause him to cast off any weapons and just go straight fisted mode. His moveset would be limited to punching and his aerials, but each one would be very powerful but short range. Kind of almost like Little Mac for a moment. This meter would fill up as he does damage. I would actually suggest that this would be an exception to Smash's general meter rule, whether or not you deal damage or take damage. This should only be doing damage because it's supposed to be a much more aggressive focused character. Getting hurt should be much more punished. Forward throw would be similar to Possessed Security, where you kick them, and back throw would throw them on the ground and then stomp them. Just some little things I thought would work well. The final smash would be the BFG. Do I need to explain? Oh, but in Smash it'll stand for the big freaking gun. The big funny gun. The bogus franchise goer awayer. It's for good boys and girls. The character I've tried to make focuses more on speed and power with some ranged benefits. Most players would expect an FPS character to be heavily range-based, but Doom is pretty unique in this sense, is that it's more about speed and hit scam. There are some automatic weapons, but they've always been more focused on getting up close and personal in the action. There are a number of melee-only enemies, and very few super long-ranged weapons. Even in the modern games where they actually added a sniper scope, it still added glory kills that encouraged you to stay close to the enemy. As such, our Smash Bros. Doomguy is kind of a mix between Ganon and Samus. His weakness is the same as a typical heavyweight, having low frame data and being combo food, but even with these disadvantages, he has the aspect of fear on his side. Simple mistakes get punished hard, and the goal of every Doomslayer is to show the opponent their own mistakes, correct them, lest they be doomed. I'm gonna go commit self-rocket. Oh yeah, taunts. You can do the little minifigure fist bump. A simple one that's just pumping the shotgun, and maybe kind of looking left and right. Some little mini Doom head from the original. Some victory animations could be a shot and reload from the super shotgun, an imp running away with Doom Guy chasing after it, and an imp jumping on him, and he catches it by the neck, similar to how he does in the 2016 box art pose. As for the stage, we're gonna go with Argent Tower Citadel. Mars is a frequent location from Doom, so the big evil base on Mars is a great choice for a stage. Well, there's one place that might be a bit better. HE double hockey sticks. I'm not sure if a game for good boys and girls would allow such a place, especially since it's technically a religious reference. So after all, Doom is the most Christian game that has ever been. Though there's one line in one of the Persona songs that says damn, and that's a no-no word that's not for good boys and girls. Maybe they could get away with it calling it the Demon Realm or something, but for now, the Argent Energy Tower works just fine. It's opening a portal to hell. That can even be an excuse to flood the background with various demons. Maybe the portal in the background even pulses to the music, similar to how the soundtrack does, because it's sick! Oh yeah, the Doom soundtrack. That might be a bit intense for Smash as well. I mean, they've got some heavy tracks, but Mike Gordon really likes to kind of hit it pretty hard. He probably wouldn't be doing this one. This was a little kerfuffle. As long as I get the As for our spirits will actually use the various classic sprites of Doom, so probably not many newer enemies. I say this because a lot of the newer enemies put a bunch of, the icky red stuff that isn't allowed in video games. And the classic sprites are a bit more abstract and kinda, friendlier looking. Starting with the Imp, it would be a bunch of tiny red Ridleys that shoot fireballs. They'd be easy enough to smack away, but there's a bunch of them. Pinkies would be a bunch of pink Yoshis that do damage as they run at you. Maybe a few invisible ones spawn to reference specters. Mancubus would be two big King K. Rool using neutral B. It would be a stamina match and they would be unable to flinch. Revenant, who just for the sake of knowing he's wearing red pants. That's not anything else. That's red pants. Those are his lovely his red leotard that he's wearing. That's what that is. Anyway, it'd be numerous Samuses that fire missiles. Baron and Knights of Heck. Two small Ganons that use smash attacks, one large one that charges a final smash. Ironically, Ganon's beast form kinda has that lower body, so good enough connection. Kako Demon, a big floating red Kirby that tries to suck you up. Potentially he'll even get the spicy buff occasionally. Archvile, a Mewtwo with two tiny Ridleys. They respawn and the Mewtwo avoids your attack while they shoot fire at you. And finally, the Cyber Demon, a giant dangerous dark Samus that has buffs on all projectiles. One additional member that I will mention, though, is the Marauder from Doom Eternal. He's kind of become the face of that game, and would function well enough as probably the best representative for modern Doom. And the last one would be the Icon of Sin, who I'm also not sure if they can use that name for imagery. There's a bunch of pentagrams everywhere. And decapitated head of one of the developers in his brain. Difficult, Doom. More than likely, this could just be an absolutely ginormous Ridley with a bunch of the various other spirits spawning around him. It would again be an HP match, but with most of the other enemies being kind of low HP, but it would kind of simulate almost a regular boss fight with Ridley, just with a bunch of other add-ons. And that's Doom Guy, or Doom Slayer, whichever one you prefer. Somewhat recent interviews implied that this character won't be happening for Ultimate, but I don't think that should stop fans from asking in the future. Heck, I wanted Ridley for years, and look at me now! So I'd say to never give up. As said before, he certainly deserves it, and honestly, Smash is running out of big third parties to pull from the East. Western companies are looking like an option for the future, and this is a prime choice. Just hope that a certain other Bethesda property doesn't try and take its place.